Hi, I'm Tara with Crooked Row. Today we are going to be with my daughter Sayla, and she is going to help me plant in trays, dirty trays. They're actually clean, they're just really dusty from being in the barn. But we're gonna start several different plants today in our trays. But I really wanted to have Sayla come and help because I think that gardening is like a heritage, and children should be taught this heritage, and we should all be teaching this to our kids. We should all learn it. I feel like gardening has kind of been lost, and in recent events I think people are starting to get a bigger interest in gardening, and we learn every single year. Every year at the end of the year, we all go through what has happened, and I always have a thing that I tell my kids. I say, well, now we know that for next year. So everybody has a learning curve, everybody. No one does it just perfect, and that's why we're called Crooked Row. We have lots and lots of mistakes, and we just learn from them and we fail forward, and so hopefully we correct it the next year. We don't have perfect rows here, but today I'm going to teach Sayla how to use starter trays. A lot of people use these starter trays. I'm kind of they're pretty flimsy. It's extremely expensive to start with starter trays that are very, very good. I mean, in upwards of, like, a tray like this would be like $35 for a good one. And so I want to encourage people to use yogurt containers. Just make sure on the bottoms that you put a hole in it, please, for drainage, because while we want the plants, sorry for my rooster, while we want the plants to get plenty of water, we also want it to drain out, otherwise the roots will rot. This is even like a little orange juice container. Again, drainage on the bottom, cottage cheese, I mean, whatever containers you have, whatever containers you can collect. I even will sometimes use, and these are very dirty from last year, but with my hole in the bottom, styrofoam cups. You can go to one of the dollar stores near you and get, I think it's 50 styrofoam cups for like $1.50. Anyone can do that. And you just find a tray or a bowl, anything to start your seeds. Get creative. I saw that someone the other day was saving their cans, which I'm not sure how I feel about this yet, but I just thought it was neat that someone was using their cans and they would cut away. They had the kind of can opener that cuts it so it's not sharp, but they would use a can and then poke holes with the can opener in the bottom. And they were using their cans. Like, talk about reduce, reuse, and recycle. So I think that I also buy a lot of annuals, and these containers are just amazing. And this was, let's see, Impatiens. I bought Impatiens last year, and these are, sorry, we're having audio problems, so I'm just going to go ahead and explain what's happening here. I love these containers, and I had planted Impatiens in them, and they're really strong, sturdy containers. The bottoms, they have really good drainage in it too. So I think the point is that you can use any container that you can get your hands on. We also have, I'm using the organic Jiffy Mix, the seed starting mix, and seed starting mix is just a sterile mix. There's people who use peat, that's sphagnum, peat moss, and things like that you can pick up, but I like the seed starting mix. We tried to get Espoma, but there was no Espoma mix where we live. So again, like I keep telling everyone, just make do, just start seeds. And so the Jiffy Mix is really good, and you can pick that up anywhere, and it's actually a really reasonable price. I think we paid $5 for it at Lowe's. So any big box store. Lots of talking. Sorry. You'll want to get your seed starting mix nice and damp, like a sponge, a wrung out sponge is what people say. And so what I do is I kind of let it sit, put water on it and then sit before I spoon it out into my trays. And as you spoon it out, it's far easier to do that with your hands than it is a spoon, which is why I start doing that. But you want to put plenty on your trays because you can always scrape it off into your bucket. But kind of the key is that when you push it over the holes, you may need to add more back in, because as you push it down, you just want to make sure that there's no air pockets in there. Okay, that's all done. We have our trays filled. I even went ahead and filled these up just to kind of show you what it would look like. And I have it in an old tray that I had for another setup of these trays. I save my trays because this is what you can do with them. And for $1.50. I mean, you can't beat that. So these I think now are about $7 a piece, but again, they're extremely flimsy. So on Amazon though, they do have some pretty good trays. I'll try to find where I purchased that and we'll link it below. But I'm gonna go ahead and go through and talk about our seeds that me and Miss Sailor are gonna plant today. These are all from Baker Creek. I don't only buy from Baker Creek, I buy a lot of things from Berlin Seeds. Berlin Seeds is in Amish country in Ohio, and they have fantastic plants. I buy my potatoes and fruit trees and all of that from them. But today, and a lot of the things we've been doing are from Baker Creek. And again, that's www.rareseeds.com. The basils. So me and Miss Sayla are gonna get to planting and then we'll come back.
Once you cover your seeds, just water them. Bye.
So here are the fruits of our labors. Sayla and I had planted these up, and I just wanted to give you a quick shot of where we put them. We have our different types of trays, as you see, and I've got my what each one is on each tray. And then you see my shop lights that I have used for over 10 years. And look, these are just normal shop lights with normal light bulbs. I have beautiful plants every year. You don't need anything fancy. I did go ahead, my heating mat, it's dirty because we're constantly pulling stuff in and out of here. But these heating mats for us are pretty essential. They help germination really fast. You don't have to have them. I know that there are people who, to create quick germination, they'll put these trays on top of their refrigerator. They will put them in, put up a board over their radiator and put them on their radiator. There's lots of ways to do this. But for us, putting it on this, I don't know if this is called a rack, and with a heating mat and these lights, give us just the perfect plants every year. So, we have tomatoes and peppers and basil and let's see what else we got. I think that's basil too, and this is a different type of pepper. You just make sure and keep them watered. I like to water from underneath. I pull them up like this and I water under there. And let me tell you why. You can get something called fungus gnats. And once fungus gnats come, boy, are they hard to get rid of. I had those my first year, and so watering on top of the plants can create that. And then once you got them, it's just a pain. So I water from underneath, except for things like this. This is just what it is. And the reason why I use these are tomatoes. And I planted these in the video. And I use these because not only can I separate these really easy, and then I've got 2 good tomato plants, I put them in either deep planters or cups so that the roots can get really deep. Because roots, I want them to stay shallow, and they're gonna try to go wide, and then you plant them in another container and they just keep getting deeper, because a good deep root system is good for tomatoes. So I like that. I always come in and kind of brush the tops of them so that their stems are nice and strong. But other than that, other than my tomatoes, I don't really pot anything else up. I will, when it's ready to be planted outside, I put my peppers in a planter, and I'll explain that in a pepper video. So that's for later. But other than this is how you do it in Zone 6. And remember, if we can garden, anybody can.